Let's go! Today we actually have some Brian Kelly film to break down. Look, you're going to see some 11 on 11 action, and I already see some really good things from two of LSU's leaders in the quarterback room right now. And that, of course, is MYLES Brennan and Jayden Daniels. And right here was some really good quarterbacking from MYLES Brennan. This footage via Tiger TV, but we're going to give you a different angle here. And once again, thanks to our friends, Pressy Collection and PressyCollection.com. And honestly, it's pretty simple stuff. So, MYLES Brennan obviously has a personal protector here in the backfield, but this running back is going out on a route. And what LSU decides to do here is blitz both of their interior linebackers. So, Baskerville's coming on a blitz, and Jared Small is going on a blitz. And MYLES Brennan knows that his personal protector is going out on a route, and it looks to be that they're in man coverage. So what do you want to do? You want to throw which is your running back here, and MYLES knows that this pass protection pickup is going to be really difficult, and it is. Okay, we switch back to the Tiger TV angle, and you'll see how difficult this is. You never want unblock A-gap pressure, but Bryce Langston actually plays this really well. He holds up this guard right here, Tremont Shorts. Fitzgerald West is occupied by Jacoby and Guillory, and you see this A-gap is wide open for a blitzer to run through untouched. That is exactly what happens here by Jared Small. You would like Jared to get through there a little bit cleaner from a defensive vantage point. Still, this isn't the worst stuff because you trust MYLES to read this if your running back is going out on a route. If both linebackers are blitzing and the defense is running man coverage, your running back should be wide open in the flat. So yeah, these are a few still images from 2019, but whether it's the greatest offense of all time or just any offense, it helps your protection out so much if you could just hit your RB in the flat when teams blitz you. Now, I want to spend some time on this play right here from Jayden Daniels, and there's so much about it that really blew my mind.
Yeah. First down.
Boom, I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. Okay, that was the play at full speed, okay? But I'm going to need your help breaking this one down. Actually going to run this play here at a slower speed and then hit the dry erase board together. Yes, we're getting technical, we're getting nerdy. If you're a diehard LSU football fan, you're absolutely going to love this because there is a good chance that even if any of the other three quarterbacks are the quarterback, that Jayden Daniels would get some snaps because of plays like this one. So before we pull out all the markers and the dry erase board here, let's talk about what is actually happening pre-snap. And pre-snap, there was two major changes that happened. The first, obviously, here is Corey Kiner, the running back, moves to the right of Jayden Daniels pre-snap. But to me, one of the biggest things that happened was actually on the defensive side of the ball, where you see Jay Ward come closer to the line of scrimmage, and basically at the snap of the football, this becomes a five-man defensive front with the safety lined up over the tight end, okay? Now, last year, you heard me a lot during LSU film studies how much I hate when teams actually do this. When they crowd the line of scrimmage with their safeties, I still don't understand it because last year when LSU did it, it oftentimes resulted in very explosive plays for the other team. Boom! Look, we got a fancy orange marker. We have the play drawn up right here, pre-snap, and we're actually going to do a bunch of doodling. And, of course, there is a reason why I'm pulling this out, because the media was only able to shoot this from a ground-level sideline angle, and I feel like drawing it up will show you how each and every offensive player did their job to perfection for this play to work. And what I want you to do is comment who you think the MVP was on this play. Whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this 10 years from now, just comment to yourself which player played the most important role for this play to work. But what essentially happens here is, and we'll show you again with this footage, Corey Kiner actually ran it's important for this marker to work. Audible to the red marker. Let's hope this one works. And it does. Look at that. So what Corey Connor actually did, you see, what Corey Connor actually did was he faked like he was going this way and actually ran this way. And you'll see why that's very important. And Jayden Daniels actually carried out the same fake, but as many of you know, he faked like he was running this way and actually decided to run to the outside, okay? So, where the play to me was actually won was by the LSU offensive line. And, spoiler alert, I'm actually going to tell you who I think the MVP of this play actually was. And yes, we've been hyping him up. It was none other than Will Campbell, the left tackle. We'll show you why in just a second. So, what essentially happens here is LSU is running counter, and they're actually pulling. I have these actually flipped. This is actually the guard and the tackle. So they pull the guard out to the left. They pull the tackle with him, okay? So what essentially happens here is this guard goes to block this backside linebacker. But now, guess who's left unblocked? Big Maason Smith right here, who's playing the right defensive end role, okay? We all know Maason is one of the top 5 players on this team, and we are trusting Will Campbell, the true freshman, to make this down block right here. And we all know Maason could just run right through here and blow this play up, but you'll see in just a second what actually happens here. Now, this is where things get really tricky. BJ Ojulari has to be blocked right here. And BJ actually does something called a wrong arm technique, and he actually goes to the inside. And when he went to the inside, this offensive guard was able to seal him to the inside. This offensive tackle was able to get to the next level and help seal this linebacker, which is Greg Penn. We're sealing him off right here. And then guess what? We are off to the races right here, okay? And you'll see here, Cam Wire actually almost got Joe on a block right here. And what essentially happened on the backside of this formation, tight end went to the right. Jay Ward went with them, running back right there. So let's actually pull back up the footage, and you will see a few extra little nuggets from this play. Let's go. So one thing that makes this play really special in the context of spring football is that oftentimes spring ball is littered with walk-ons. That's not the case here. Every player here is a starter and or scholarship player. The second thing I want to show you is how much Corey Kiner cares for the craft of running back play. Look at how hard he sells this fake. And the reason why that little stop right here is very important is that BJ Ojulari sees not one but 2 pullers heading his way. He's probably thinking that this is just typical running back counter and the football is being handed off here. Will Campbell, he has what is an extremely difficult block, and he makes this look very easy. He's going up against LSU's best defensive player in my mind, which is Maason Smith, and he's got to go all the way here from left tackle to down block Maason Smith. And not only do you have to down block him, we need you to wash him out of the play. And you'll see right here, the first thing that makes this really special is Xavier Hill doesn't even help Will Campbell. What you see a lot of left guards do is they will help Will Campbell here with a small little double. But you see here, Xavier Hill just slips right through immediately to the linebacker. And that makes this block by Will Campbell even more difficult because not only do we need you to block him, it needs to be clean, because if we can get some push, and you can see Will Campbell just blowing Maason Smith out, what that push did, though, was allow the pullers from the right side to have a clean run at BJ Ojulari. So, number one, it's not so much Maason Smith going back here and making a tackle. It's Maason Smith penetrating and blowing both of these pullers up. But you see, Will was able to wash him completely out of the play. This allowed this guard to get through very clean to block Mike Jones on the backside. So Will Campbell's super clean block right here on Maason Smith made the other 3 blocks by Xavier Hill on this linebacker and these 2 pullers to be perfectly clean. That is why Will Campbell is the MVP of this play. Let's get back to BJ right here. You've heard me say a lot during this offseason, for Matt House's defense to work, this Jack linebacker has got to be a baller. He's got to be a Chason or a Josh Allen, who was the Jack linebacker in House's good defense back in 2018 at Kentucky. There's just so much reading and athleticism, football IQ, everything, anything you want to call it, that goes into playing this position. And one philosophical thing that Matt House is going to have to do with Jamar Cain, the run game defense coordinator, is determine whether or not they want to do something called a kill and spill, or do they want to do something called a dent versus pullers. And what essentially a kill and spill is when the defender wrong arms, and what a wrong arm basically is with this right arm, we want you to rip move underneath and blow this gap up to force this play to go to the outside. The problem with killing and spilling, especially if you're going up against two pullers, is that it still leaves one puller to get the new contained defender, which is the linebacker. So kill and spill means you kill it to the inside and you spill it to the linebacker to the outside. Or what you could do versus this is have BJ play to the outside, keep contained, and squeeze it, or as Don Brown, the defensive coordinator, formerly of Michigan, will say, dent it. So what denting basically means is don't just give yourself up to the inside. Take on one of these blockers a little bit more square, whether it be slightly to the inside or to the outside, and two-gap it. Stalemate him and make Jayden Daniels at least slow down some, and if he bounces to the outside, make the play to the outside. If he goes to the inside, make the play to the inside. A lot easier said than done, and once again, the Will Campbell block allowed these large 300-pound individuals to run full speed at you, and as you can see, BJ, because he killed and spilled to the inside, Jayden Daniels made a really good read to just bounce it. And this Greg Penn is sealed so perfectly right here by these two players. And because they do such a good job of sealing it, you see what happens here. Cam Meyer actually, and he doesn't really get close, but he does a good job hustling and at least trying to make this happen. Okay? And I do give Joe a lot of credit. If LSU is going to bring their safety to the line of scrimmage, once again, I don't like it. This single high guy has got to be a playmaker. And Joe does a good job reading it and coming at this full speed. But still, I really do like this hustle right here by Cam to get here. But as you can see, these two guys just aren't even close to this play. Excellent blocking. I want to show you one guy that we have not mentioned yet. And this is very impressive stuff right here from Brian Thomas Jr., okay? So BTJ does a good job selling that he is running a route, and now let's see how BTJ blocks this, destroying this defensive back, okay? Look at that. Look at that. Way to go. Because we were able to draw all these defenders away with all goes on the backside here, okay? Guess what happens? We don't know if Joe is actually going to make this tackle. We don't, right? I would guess that he is right here, but that's still a tough tackle to make. And because BTJ has a great block right here to the backside, that might have been a touchdown. More than likely, though, it's probably not a touchdown, but you never know, right? Jayden could cut back. Mike Jones might have been able to catch him. You don't know, but that's the thing. When you get perfectly blocked plays like that and well-designed plays like that, it can open up so many different things for your offense. Now, I know we focused mostly on the Jayden Daniels opening play, but here's the play that we broke down at the very beginning, the MYLES Brennan play. Yes, Myles' lack of running allows you to not be able to run the plays you saw for most of the video, but if Myles makes quick decisions such as this one, his lack of running ability is not as important, and his really special arm becomes that much more important. But obviously the major takeaway is that Jayden Daniels' mobility is truly special. He's got some elite running, and it's not only just his running, it's ability to read running angles. And so even if Jayden can't throw, once again, just having him as a threat you saw today is a real game changer. But as you saw at the beginning of the video, I put an asterisk next to Jayden's name because, yes, Jayden's running ability is what allowed us to run a play such as this one. But more importantly, it was the great blocking. It was Will Campbell's excellent block. It was everyone doing their jobs. You can watch our Mike Denbrock film study, and you see a lot of what he did versus Alabama. The successful plays were a lot of this misdirection stuff. Obviously, I would love your thoughts on today's video, who you think the MVP of that one play was. And until next time, we will see you, baby. It is Power Hour LSU. Bam! And tonight, we're doing brisket. Let's